Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. This is the 26th video of a playlist for cloning a Disney Plus website using MERN stack. In this video, we are going to make the list details page backend and and the update function for the list. So let's go back to the list details in here. So we know that in the previous video we already created the front end or the view of the page. Now it is time for us to make the fetching function to the API. Up here we are going to have another use effect. I'm going to enter and then use effect is going to be some is going to be a function. That function is going to be get list details equal to async, and then here it will be some arrow function. Instead of this get list detail, wait, it's supposed to be get list detail, not get list. Instead of here we will have a try and catch block, try and catch. For this catch, don't forget to add some error in here. So for the try is going to be cons and then rest equals to await axios dot get. First we have to import the axios, and also why we got undefined await in here. It's supposed to be not like that. Yeah, maybe we just have to save it. For the axios method is going to be get, and I'm going to put the list. Whoops, it's supposed to be list slash find slash, and then I'm going to pass the list ID in here. After that, I'm going to pass the headers that I'm going to copy from the movie details. Maybe I will just copy it from the API calls instead of the list context. I'm going to copy the headers and then pass it here. I'll shift F to verify the codes. After that, I'm going to save it, and below of this rest, we are going to set list details is equal to rest.data. Let's save it, and for the error, if there is some error in here, it will just going to console log the error. Let's save it, and don't forget to call the function in here, get list details, and then for the parameters, it's going to be list ID. Let's save it and see if we go to the list here, edit one of these, the movie cartoon. If I inspect the website, so I just open up my inspect, that means I'll have to refresh it again, because if you are inspecting a website, but when you click the inspect, the website is already loaded, the network of the website will not be recorded with this inspect, so then you have to refresh it one more time. And here we got the 404. We got API list find is not found. Let's see, let's go to the list in the roots here. Did we have the roots anyway? Nope, we don't have it, so that is why we got the 404 error codes. And here I'm going to make it below of this get all list. I'm going to make get specific list is equal to going to be router, and then for the method it's going to be get, and the route URL is going to be id find slash id. You will need the token to do this, and it will be async function that going to get the request and the result. After that, instead of here we will have a try and catch block. If there's some error, I will just going to make it instead of the catch. For this try, cons list is equal to await list find by id, so I'm going to find row inside of the database by the ID, and the ID comes from the params. The params is in here. Here we have the ID. After the params, we are going to put the ID in here. After we get the list, after we get the field or the row from the database, we are going to return it with a rest, and its status is 200 for the success code, and it will be a JSON. That will be the list. For the gets, it's going to be rest.status and then 500.json and then error. Let's save it. And now let's go back to the Chrome here. Refresh the website. Wow, we already get the title, ID, but not with the year. Oh yeah, of course. We don't have a year for the list. Why did I make this anyway? Let's see in the MongoDB, or maybe I will just go to the list in the models here. What we got the list. We get the title, category, content, and a series. Let's just make it as category, and this also going to be category. Let's save it. Go back to here. Refresh the website. Here we got the category kits, and also maybe I will not make it as justify between. I will just going to delete it and refresh again. Now we get our category is equal to kits. After we get our title, the ID, and the category, that means our fetching function is working. So let's make the update function for it. Go back to here and here. Let me see. Let's make the function for handle change first. So for the handle change here is going to be const, and then handle change is equal to e, and then const value is equal to e dot target. So for the value is going to be the target, the value of the target. Then it will set the updated list. We have to make the state in here. So use state snippet, and this is going to be updated list, not with s. And for the default value, it will be just null here. I will move it to here and give it some space, enter, and I will put this above of the first use effect here. Set updated list, and then it's going to be dot 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 updated list, comma, and then e dot target dot name. It will be a value. So this was same handle change like we have in the movie. After we make the handle change, we are going to apply it to here. Let's see in the title where it is. Oh, it's in here. So let's make the on change is equal to the handle change. Let's save it. Now let's copy the on change from the input text and pass it. Oh no, we don't have to. We already have it inside. We already have it in a select. We just have to change the null to handle select. But first, we also have to make the function for it. Const is handle select. For this handle select is going to retrieve the e value. And then for the let value is equal to array dot from e dot target dot select set option, comma, and then option is equal to option dot value. And then for this, I'm going to set update dot list is equal to dot 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 update dot list. So the first thing we are going to set the rest of the updated list. And then here we are going to set the target dot name, and then the value that we got from the variable here. Save. Let's see in the websites that we got some error. Let's refresh. We didn't get any error. So after we make this change, we make this handle change and handle select function. I'm going to also make the handle submit for the upload button. Handle submit. Let's save it, and then go scroll up, and make the handle submit below of this handle select. So cons and then handle submit is equal to e, and then it will be a, and then prevent default to prevent it redirecting us to the other page. And then here we are going to run the update list. Wait, before we create it, let's just make the context for it. So after this API calls, maybe I will just close it. First, we are going to the list action reducer, and the API calls inside of the list context here. For the list action, I'm going to copy and then pass it below of this. Change all of this get to update, this list to list, and also this list for the get is going to be update. And also for the parameters, maybe it will not just the list, it will be list. Here is going to be a list. Let's save it and then go to the reducer. We are going to also make the update. We are going to make the update reducer inside of this list reducer. So let's just copy the case and then paste it below of it. I will Alt Shift F to verify it. Change this tree get to update, and the list is going to be list. For the update is going to be for the failure. So wait a second. For the start and the failure is going to return dot and then state. Oops, it's supposed to be in a lowercase state, and then for the failure is also going to be state. And for the success here, I will not going to return action payloads, but it will be state.list.map. We are going to map over it. It will be the list, and the list dot underline id is equal to action dot payloads dot underline id and action dot payload. Let's save it and go to the API calls to make the API request for it. After the get, I will make the update here. For the update is going to be in here, export, and then cons update list is equal to async, and then list id. So we are going to pass the list id, because if we don't know which id we want to update, we can update. And then we have the updated list data and the dispatch. This is updated list. It should be not undefined because this was the first declaration for it. Let's see what occurs in the error here. Maybe I will just ignore it for now, and it will be some error function. The first thing we are going to run is the update list start. So set the type is going to be, so set the type to update list start. After that, we are going to have try and catch block. Catch is error, And then for the try is going to be await. Since this was some update function, it will just instantly run some function, and we will not put it in the variable because we don't really need the data, right? And then await, it will be axios dot put. The method is going to be put, and it will be the roots is going to be list slash and then plus list id. So we are going to the list plus the list id because we want, because if you are see in the list roots in here, we go to the update list here, we have, or we are going to pass the parameters id in here. After we pass the list id, we will pass the updated list, comma, and then the headers of the request. I'm going to pass it here. And then for the success one, it's going to be update list success, and then it's going to be list id. Let's save it. And for the cats, it's going to be dispatch is equal to, it's going to run update list failure. Let's save it. Now let's see in here that we got some error. What if we refresh the website? We are getting some blank page or the white page. Here we got handle submit is not defined. Oh yeah, we didn't finish it, this handle submit in here. So let's finish it. It will be the update list that come from the API calls. The first parameter we are going to pass is the ID, and then the updated list, and the last one is going to be dispatch. Let's save, and let's go to the website or to the Chrome again. We get the page. That means there's no error. But what if we inspect? Okay, we have no error. Let's try to change the movie cartoon to, like, for example, kids movie. Let's update it, and it gives us some blank page. Let's see in here, cannot reading property of list. Instead of the list context here, let's see, we got our kids. The title is still movie cartoon. That means the title isn't have updated yet. Cannot read of reading list. Let's see. In the list actions here, we already passed the payloads. And for the reducer here, we passed the dot state for the list. But for the success one, it's state dot list dot map, and then list is equal to list underline id equal to action dot payload dot underline id, and then action dot payload. For the dispatching error is going to be same. Let's see in the API calls then. In the API calls, we just pass the list ID. We are not passing anything. And also inside of this list reducer, we are going to add the defaults. Here I'm going to add the defaults. So if the type aren't any of all of this, it will go to the default and it will just going to return the state. Let's save it. But if we refresh the website, and then change it to, for example, kids movie, then update, it will not redirect us or change the page to the white page, but it is still not updated. If you see in the network here, we still got the movie cartoon. It is the old title. The newest one is going to be the the kids movie. Let's see. Here we already passed the list. because we can update more than one file in the same time. And then inside of the list reducer, we already return it. The list is equal to state.list.field, I mean dot list dot map, and then list is equal to list id equal to action payload dot id and action payload. And for the dispatching is false, error is false. Let's see. But if we go to the API calls in here, we have the list ID, the updated list, and the dispatch. Or there's in here. We already have our updated list in here. What about we console.log every change of this updated list? Let's save it and see here. But if we open and inspect in here, let me just make it like this so it will wait. Yeah, whatever, it will be just kids and then movie. Let's see in the inspect here. We got our kids movie. It is the first one will be null. That is because we can't log it. But if the data is already inserted to the database, it will be kids movie. So that means our handle change is working. What about so our handle change is working. Update list is update list from the API calls, and then list ID. The first parameter we will be passed is going to be the list ID here, and also the list ID, and then updated list and the dispatch. So if you are making inside of this update list, like for example, the so you can make whatever order that you want. Like for example, the first one is going to be the list ID, the second one is going to be the dispatch, and the last one is going to be updated list. That might be allowed, but if you are setting the parameter that wants to paste it to the function here, this should be same like in the API calls. Like for example, if you are putting this list ID in the first row, so in the update list in here, it should be in the first row too. But if you are passing this list ID in the second row here, like for example, we change the position from the list ID to updated list and updated list to the list ID in the API calls in here, the list ID will contain the updated list data, and the updated list will contain the list ID data. So that is why here we are making it same like in the API calls. Oh, here we forgot the function symbol. Let's save and see in here. What if we refresh the page and then kids movie? Let's update and see inspect. Let's see in the network here. It's still movie cartoon. But if we refresh the website, it is still a movie cartoon. Let's go back to the API calls in here. So in here we have to add the name. So remember, if we don't have the name, the function or the update function is then no. So let's try after we adding this name. So remember, if we didn't pass the name, or we didn't put the name inside of the input, the update function didn't know what field or what fields is want to change. Let's save it and refresh the website. Let's add kids movie. Change it to kids movie. Update and then see how it looks in inspect the network here. If we preview, and finally we got our kids movie or movie cartoon, change it and update it to the kids movie. So remember, we have to put the name. After we make the update, we will make the delete function for it. So go to the list, because our handle delete is instead of this instead of this list.jsx. And here I will make a new state for it. For this I will make a new one. It's going to be delete, and then for the update I'm going to change it to delete. It's not going to pass the list, it's just going to pass the ID. Let's see, after we have that, we will make the list register in here. I'm going to copy the update list start and then pass it below of it. I'll shift F to verify it. Change all of this update to delete. And then for the success, so if the list delete list is success, it will have state and then list dot filter, and then list is equal to list dot underline id is not equal to action dot payload. After we make this, let's make the API calls for it. Below of the update, we will have the delete. So delete is equal to export and then cons. The function is going to be delete list is equal to some async function. We will get the ID and the dispatch. Dispatch equal to, the first thing we're going to do is change the type to the delete list start, and then here after that we'll have a try and catch block. Try and catch block, here I'm going to give it some space. So for the try is going to be await, and since this was just a deleting function, we don't need to put it inside of a variable. So I will just going to write or type await axios.delete and then slash list. And remember, the method is going to be delete, and for the root it's going to be a list plus the ID of the list that we want to delete, and then we are going to pass the headers along with the token. After we're done deleting the list, we will have dispatch, and then delete list is success, and I will pass the ID, and for the cats is going to be dispatch, and then delete list failure. I will not passing anything to it, so let's just save and import it from the list action. Let's save. Go back to the list.jsx in here. For the list.jsx, we just have to delete list from the API calls, and then ID. We are going to pass the ID and the dispatch. Also in here we need the ID. Let's save it and let's see in the website. Let's go to the list. Let's refresh it first so then we know the website is already updated. Let's delete, and it is already deleted. And I think that's it for this video. I hope you will enjoy it. Don't forget to like and subscribe and turn on the bell notification. Thanks a lot, so then you know when I upload or when I update this series. Thanks a lot for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.